Hi guys and welcome to my live review of chapter 235 of Haikyuu. And we just see more of this match, and I think I can make this pretty short because matches are pretty easy to get through, I feel like. We have Kageyama being back now, like full throttle Kageyama, and we have him being really awesome in this chapter, and generally the chapter is like 75% focused on Kageyama alone. With his stump, which was really cool, and his quicks with Hinata, and just in general, just his serves as well. Like, everything about Kageyama in this chapter was just hella awesome, and the narrators, or whatever they are, the commentators, they're all over him, like, oh my god, Kageyama, gosh. Which I still find really cool. I find it really cool that they have commentators, because for some reason, like, commentators just makes everything feel more hype because it feels so official and big, and it's just really cool. And having them comment on both Kageyama and Hinata as these crazy first years is just really cool, because I always get that really hype feeling whenever they're like, oh my god, that quick between those two first years, like, I really like that. I also really like that even though, like, Karasuno is obviously gonna win, like, we all know that they're obviously gonna win, but it's not like they're not getting an easy win like they did in the first, like the very first official match that we saw in the Inter-High preliminaries, where they fought the team that Daichi's middle school friend was on. I don't even remember their name, but like that was an overwhelming victory. And they didn't even like use their full power. But here they're not really holding back, because Ukai says that even, but like, it's not always a good idea to keep everything hidden. Sometimes it's good to go all out and show people your full arsenal. But the thing is, even when they show their opponent team everything they have, they're still, in most of this chapter, their opponents are, they have more points in them, and I even think that they end up being either tied, or the others have like 1 point more than they do. Yeah, it's, last time we saw like the score, it's 15-16 to, Tsubakihara. See, I don't even know. And again, they're obviously gonna win, but I just find it so interesting to see that, also there are fireworks outside, if you can hear that. I just find it so interesting that we have that parallel between, that first match they ever fought. Oh my god, the fireworks, they're so distracting. And then this, because it's not as easy, it's a lot harder, and I still feel like they're gonna win this 2-0. Because Kageyama's finally back and stuff like that, and they're getting their nerves under control, but it's just showing you that this is a lot harder than this atmosphere makes it out to seem, because I don't even feel the tension reading these chapters, because I just know that they're gonna win. I remember like reading the Seijo matches and the Shiturizawa matches, like every chapter is just so hype, and you can just feel in your chest that the tension is high and the stakes are high and everything is just like, oh my god. Here, not so much. But it's still so interesting to see that the Karasuno is not, like, winning by a landslide. We also have that one interesting comment, from Takeda-sensei about Kageyama and his journey from kind of being this self-centered setter from Kitagawa Daiichi, and now he stands here on this court and he has the eyes of the whole world on him. And even though Ukai's like, well, maybe it's not the whole world, he still has that kind of look, and he's like, well, maybe it is, because Kageyama is that really, like, high level setter. And they also mentioned that he was in the Japan Youth Training Camp, whatever it's called, because it's such a long name. It's like the Youth Intensive Training Camp or whatever of Japan, I don't know. We all know what it is, because we read it and we were on that journey with Kageyama. And we also have one of his old buddies coming in by the end here, Miya, is that his name? I keep forgetting. Miya Akawasa, whatever, something. The setter who called Kageyama a little goody two-shoes. He's there, and his attention is grabbed also by Kageyama, who's like, he mentions that Kageyama is a lot different than he was in the camp, and then his eyes go to Hinata. I am having the chapter here, so his eyes go to Hinata, and he's like, okay, who is this player? Because obviously Kageyama is a much different player after the training camp, because one, he's kind of getting a hold of himself, as we saw in the practice match with Dateko, and he's changing his ways and finally becoming that person who's not the king but also not a submissive player, because he can't be that as a setter. So he finally found his, like, calling in that practice match. So of course he's changing that, and of course he also just changes when he plays with Hinata because they are perfect partners and they just have that really unique style. And of course Miyu or Miya or whatever his name is would be caught by would have his attention caught by Hinata because he's an interesting player. And I feel like it was either in this chapter or the previous chapter where one of the commentators pointed out that Hinata is actually the shortest or smallest player in like the entire tournament, as a regular at the very least, and not as a libero. So I find that really interesting because of course you'd be like, okay, who is that teeny tiny middle blogger? Or was it just middle blogger? I don't know. He was like really small, Hinata. That was like one of the comments. But yeah, I find it interesting that Miya, whatever, was instantly interested in Hinata because that's what Hinata does to you. I think this match will be over perhaps in 5 chapters unless the other team like does something really incredible, because they are having trouble dealing with Krasno, but they are also like hanging in there because they are national level team. As I said, they're not as easy opponents as Inter-High Preliminaries first opponents were. But I do feel like we're gonna have this kind of over with pretty quickly. Because I just don't feel the tension that I know the mangaka can write. So it's mostly about others' opinion about what's going on, and then Karasuno finding like their ground on this whole stage and stuff like that. I feel like that's it for my review because I could keep talking about nothing basically, but I feel like I'm gonna save a little for the next chapter, which will be the first of 2017. Oh my god. And yeah, leave a like if you like anything that I had to say. Leave in the comments below what you thought of this chapter and just in general what you think of everything Haikyuu. And you can subscribe if you want to see more. Until next time, bye!